and we are going to do a fun little demolding project today. This is a Moon Eyes Jocko Johnson Streamliner, and this is a two-part mold. So there's a bottom side, like so. There's a top side. Got some screws holding it together. We're going to take this apart and pop out a really, really cool model figure. First, I'm going to turn off my phone ringer so that we don't have any disturbances. That's all good. Boom. There we go. All right. Now we're official. Now we're official. So, this project started out as a small little Hot Wheels that I took a resin cast of and scaled it up to a large size because these are not available anymore. The original creator of this is a guy named Jocko Johnson. He was out of Joshua Tree, California, and he built this original Streamliner back in the 50s. It is now owned by Moon Eyes. Happy 40th anniversary to Moon Eyes of Japan, who has been running Moon Eyes since Dean Moon actually passed away many years ago. So yeah, we are having some fun. This is actually one of my favorite cars of all time. That's why I wanted to make a model of it. Kind of do a little tribute series. I got to grab a plastic wedge here. Hold on a second. The layup on this is kind of a two-part process. So because of the fact that this has a negative draft angle, that's the reason why I had to make it in two parts. So what I do is I lay up this bottom half first, and then I lay up the top part, and then I put the two mold halves together, and then I reinforce the seam area with fiberglass after the fact. So yeah, it's kind of a tricky little shape, but it's pretty cool. I've made a few of these. If you guys are interested in getting a model, feel free to hit me up. I'm available at Instagram at Great Duck Customs, or you can email me, greatduckcustoms@gmail, and I will get you a cool moonliner streamliner model in no time flat. Typically, I do them in either gray primer or black primer, but I didn't have any of that today, so I used a green gel coat. Let's see if I can catch an edge here. It's going to be really difficult to split this apart if I can't get the wedge in between there, right? Let's see here. There we go. All right. So in theory, all right, that's how it starts. There's the top half. And I'm going to need to get probably a little wedge to smack that apart. But there's the top side of our Streamliner mold. So I'm going to move this around. You can see the mold cavity here. And then let's see if I can give this a little bit of a pop and get this out. Sometimes this is a little trickier than other times. I'm going to put this back in for just a second here. So maybe I need a smaller wedge. Sometimes this pops out really easy. Sometimes this is a little tricky. I'm trying here, guys. I'm trying. So what happens here is when I do my in-mold gel coating, you can see that this is kind of catching around the lip here just a little bit. So I gotta separate that off a little bit here. It's okay. I am going to move this out of the way real quick just so it's not getting damaged. There we go. It doesn't take a lot usually. There we go. So there is our completed popped out Streamliner mold. Pretty cool, huh? So this is obviously the flashing area of where the two mold halves were. So I can come through and very simply just knock this down using some sandpaper, razor blade. Get that close. Typically what happens with these is I'll trim them up and then I'll put a coat of primer on them before they're actually ready to go paint. But yeah, back in the mid 50s, this Streamliner was going almost 300 miles an hour. Used a Allison V12 in the back of it. And for scale, like you can see, this is about a 22-inch model. So it's a fairly large size piece of wall art there. Pretty cool, huh? And then on the bottom side, I do have a little scribe line. I don't know if you can see that around there, but this is where I trim it. And then if a guy wants to make a chassis for this, I also make a chassis so it can roll. But a lot of guys like to hang them on the wall. They just like to use some double-sided sticky tape or a screw or whatever to kind of hang them on the wall. You can paint fancy graphics on this, letter it, do whatever. But yeah, nice little fiberglass model, huh? Super jazzed about how these things turn out. Super, super jazzed. Let me grab a battery pack here real quick here. Maybe I'll just grab some sandpaper instead. Maybe I don't need a battery pack. We'll see what happens here. I've got some sandpaper here. This is what's that, 80 grit? Yeah, 80 grit. That'll be fine. 80 grit should be okay. Close enough for government work at least. And we're just going to kind of knock some of this flashing off. The nice thing about using a gel coat or an in-mold surface coating is it kind of gives me a nice stopping point where that seam is. You finally caught alive. What's up, my friend? If you guys are watching Crafting Cars down here, Afton is making all sorts of cool stuff. Hey, you're going to see this really soon, buddy. This is going to be the one that we're going to 3D scan, just so you know. Afton makes custom body kits, 3D models them, 3D prints them, and then makes molds, fiberglass parts. He's also a pretty good mechanic. So if you've got something that has VTEC in it, you might want to hit him up because he knows all about fixing Honda engines. So yeah, we're just sanding down that seam just a little bit. Yeah, you're welcome, buddy. It's all good. So yeah, this is the, since you missed the beginning of it, this is the mold that I use for it. So it's a 2-part mold. And how I do this is I lay up the bottom mold first, and then I put them together and then lay the bottom or top, whatever, however you want to do it. But I lay up this side first, and then I bolt the molds together, and then I still have area that I can fiberglass and laminate inside there. If you need composite work, go with Grey Duck Custom because he actually knows what he's doing. Thanks, buddy. I try. We're both getting there, right? Like, good enough for the kind of girls we go out with, at least, right? So I do have a. I'll show you the other one I'm working on here. Uh-oh. Where'd my paper go? So this has got a lot of dust on it. So this is another one of the streamliners I did. And you can see it doesn't have the negative draft angle on the bottom of it. This one actually sits flat. And I was going to do this as wall art. And so if we really look close, like really look close, and I'm being really nitpicky, you can see that the left and right sides are just slightly not perfect. And I'm being really picky on that. So when it's on a wall like that, that's the only way you can see it. If it's on a shelf, you know, obviously you're never going to be able to see the left and right sides at the same time, but it's pretty close, man. For hand sculpting this and hand doing it, I couldn't get a lot closer by hand. But you have the technology that we can make this perfect. And I am super excited to do that. So yeah, if you need a tether car, RC car, high speed tested, you know what I mean? And yeah, the only color gel coat I had was brown and yellow, so I mixed them all together and I got this weird green, teal, whatever color you want to call it. It's not the prettiest color by any means, but it's all good. It's just going to get primered and painted anyway, so it's not a big deal. Fun fact, when Jocko Johnson made this car, he was very inspired by the female shape. And so depending on how you're looking at this, you can almost see how he was inspired, if that makes sense. You can see the reading of the sandpaper here. You can see where it's hit and where it hasn't hit. I am using the soft side of this sanding block. This is a two-sided sanding block, so it's got a kind of a, you know, solid surface on one side and a flexible one on the other. So that flexible side is actually what helps me catch these curves a little bit better. Come on. We're getting close. I think we're gonna switch to the soft sanding block. These are just stylized styrofoam made by soft sanders. You can just use your regular sticky back paper on them. They are fantastic. I've actually got to order a new set of these. I have these are kind of temporary sanding blocks. They do go bad after a while because of them being foam. There's a little bit of distortion that happens, but for curvy shapes, they are fantastic. There we go. And for this, obviously it's a very, very, very curvy shape, so we definitely don't need a sanding block that's super, super rigid or super, super flat. We want something that's gonna have a little bit of flex to get those curvature profiles really nice and dialed in. And then yeah, once this is completely sanded out here around the whole thing, I'll put a coat of primer on this.